And welcome back to Sports Weekly on IEMG. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez, talking some high school soccer already. Yes, it's that time of the year. The high school soccer season is quickly beginning here in just a week or two for some of our local teams, including San Gorgonio. The boys team, remember, last year, CIF Southern Section Division 6 champions. They also won a SoCal championship as well. And in Division 5. And this year, actually, San G being bumped up from Division 6 to Division 2. Coach Villalobos revealing to us. They beat Victor Valley in the Southern Section Championship game. Then they beat Victor Valley again in the SoCal Regional Championship. It was a historic season for San G. And guess what? There's some key players coming back. Coach Villalobos really likes his squad. Again, they'll be up in Division 2. That's a huge bump, but he likes this squad, and he feels like this non-league portion where they play a lot of tournaments will be a great growing time together to kind of build that team cohesiveness and see what he's got. They might make another run to a CIF championship. Here's our exclusive interview with head coach Adrian Villalobos talking about San G boys soccer trying to hunt down another championship this year. And now join us here on Sports Weekly as we kind of usher in the winter sports season. We're going to be hearing from a bunch of soccer teams, but we got to start with the champions. We're talking about the San Gorgonio boys soccer team coming off a CIF Southern Section title, a CIF SoCal Regional Championship. And Coach, you've got the shirt on right now. You got the championship shirt on. I'm sure you guys are still buzzing about that, talking about that, even though a new season is upon us.
Yeah, of course. Honestly, we can probably talk this whole segment about last year's team and championship run. But yeah, I mean, it was a great season. But yeah, we're getting ready for the new one, and hopefully we can have a great season just like we did last year.
You know, Coach, a staple question I ask a lot of coaches who come off championships is that, how much do you reflect and talk about last year's championship to this year's team? Do you try to use that as maybe motivation, or do you try to just wipe a clean slate because it's going to be a bunch of new guys? What's kind of the message? What's kind of your thought going into a new season, coming off a title?
It's a combination of both. But honestly, we talk about it a lot still. Talking about like what was the difference last year? Because we've had talented teams in the past. So what made us go over the top last year? So yeah, it's a combination, but at the same time, we gotta tell the boys that, hey, this is a new team. Although we do have a lot of returners coming back, there's still a couple kids coming in that were not part of that team. So yeah, it's a little combination of both. You always got to reflect from the past and what worked and what didn't work, and how can we fix the things that didn't work or get better.
So, Coach, if I was going to ask you what did work, what did you guys do so well last year? You're like, okay, how do we make that carry over? How do we do that again?
I mean, there were a lot of factors. Obviously, the talent was one thing. We had a couple of kids that, maybe in past years, we were missing one or two guys because, they didn't make grades or they didn't want to play high school. And last year, that came together where we had a couple of kids that, made grades, couple kids from club, that played the whole year at San G. So, yeah, I mean, it's just, that was one thing. Obviously, the talent. The one thing that I lean on more is we really had a good team chemistry. From starting all the way from the top. I have a great relationship with my athletic director, my assistant coaches, and I. We just had good chemistry, and it almost seemed like it just kind of fell on the team too, and we literally had a good group of kids that cared for each other, and I think that was the biggest difference. And you always talk about team chemistry, but there's no way to actually okay, let's work on team chemistry. It's kind of happens. Obviously, there's things that you can do to help out. But yeah, the boys it was just one big family. And I said this at another interview that I had. It like literally like last season I had kids coming into my classroom because I'm also a teacher, and they would literally come in passing periods or during lunch or and just literally tell me like, Coach, we love you, Coach. And that you don't hear that from like 16-year-old kids, 17-year-old kids, but that's kind of like the team that we had, and yeah, the talent was one, but the team chemistry was definitely, I think, what took us over the top. Everybody cared for each other and everybody played for each other, and that showed.
Yeah, I think you're right, Coach. You're right. How do you quantify chemistry? What does that look like? But you're right. When teams genuinely care about each other, those are the teams that are successful. So that's a great point you bring up. I do want to bring up. You said you got some guys coming back. You've got some returners coming back to the team this year. I was out at SBVC because they play in the fall. If you're a casual soccer fan out there, they play during the fall, and I saw Ezekiel Soto out there, who was obviously a big part of your guys' success last year. So I know he's moved on, but it sounds like you've got some guys coming back, right, to the team?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the question everybody asks me, right? Like, hey, how are you guys going to do this year? Are you going to be able to do it again? We have a good core of group of students coming back from the team from last year. Obviously, we lost Easy and Angel and a couple of other seniors, Gutierrez. But if you look at the big picture, we lost maybe 5 starters. 5 starters, four starters, 5-6 players that were in the rotation last year. But that means we have 5 starters coming back. So we have 5 starters coming back from last year's team. So I think we're going to be fine. Obviously it's going to be hard to replace Easy, but we have some other players that really stepped up last year as sophomores. So yeah, I have a core group of players. So we have Emiliano Inzunza. You probably remember some of these last names from last year. Inzunza's coming back, and he's one of our strong defensive center mids. We also have Elvin Lopez, which was our other playmaker with Ezekiel last year. Guzman, who scored some big goals in our run at the end there. So those 3 guys are coming back. And we also have a few others. I'm forgetting about Bustamante because he just joined us this week from football. He was their kicker. So yeah, we'll be pretty good. We'll see how it goes. We have the potential. I would say that we have the potential to be good.
All right, speaking of potential, Coach, we'll wrap it up like this. As you go through non-league play, and I don't know how many tournaments you're going to. I assume the Sanji Shootout's back, but, during that non-league, before you get to league play, and of course, obviously, way before playoffs, how much of it is just building that team chemistry with one another and trying to develop that potential as you go through all these, non-league matches?
Yeah, for our non-league, our first tournament actually will be our first official games will be at the Oak Hills tournament. So yeah, I mean that's a good opportunity for us to start different lineups, different players, and kind of start building on who plays well together, in the different lines. But yeah, we'll do as much as we can. As far as like trying to build team chemistry, and it's just kind of like a trial thing. We'll figure out, who plays best where and what changes we need to make, and we'll just adapt.
And if I remember correctly, you guys were the Sanji Shootout champions, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Last year we won our own tournament. Only the second time in the 20 plus years that we've ran that tournament. We won. We won that. Actually, last year we tell everybody we won everything except the Oak Hills tournament. That was we didn't win that one, but we won our tournament. We won league, we won CIF, and then the state regional.
Well, here you go. Your Super Bowl this year is the Oak Hills tournament. That's all that's left.
Yep.
Well, Coach Villalobos, listen, I really appreciate the time. I know you're a dad, you're a husband, you're a soccer coach. You got a lot going on. I really appreciate it. Like I told you, we're going to be talking to a lot of soccer teams, but we got to go with the champs. We got to go start with the champs first. So I appreciate the time.
No, thank you. Appreciate you, Pep. And yeah, like my house is kind of crazy right now. Saturday morning, we're getting ready to go to baseball games. So both my boys play baseball. So, but yeah, thank you. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. That's Adrian Villalobos, the head soccer coach for the San Gorgonio boys soccer team here on Sports Weekly. All right, always appreciate the time with Coach Villalobos. When we come back here on Sports Weekly on IEMG, we'll talk some SBVC men's basketball and football. That's next here on Sports Weekly on IEMG.